Well, I'm Greg Hill, and we're here with Dale and Jared from Northeast Men's Health, and Wiggy and Christian. How's everybody doing?
Excellent. Doing very well.
Wrong.
Morning.
Yeah, you look
Boom.
yeah, well, Christian, you look like you're having a high tea morning.
What does that mean?
Wiggy, I know, let's start with you, because when you went to Northeast Men's Health, did you expect that you were going to be a low T guy?
No, I thought I was going to go there. My number one goal was to beat you and Christian.
Yeah.
Then when I realized how low my T was, I was like, whoa, okay, there's something going on here. And, to learn about it and really learn what it was doing, when you're sluggish, you think, maybe I'm just tired. Greg, you get up every morning, you think that's part of it. But then there's more to it, and I think that's what Dale and his staff was allowed to show me.
You guys, when you see those guys who are dealing with low T, what are the symptoms? How can somebody who's feeling like, I'm all right, I've never had it checked, what might guys be going through who are dealing with low T?
Yeah, great question. We see it every single day, and I think the number one thing we see is guys who just have low energy and they're just not feeling like themselves. And it happens kind of slowly over time. And then after a while, guys start noticing, hey man, I'm not getting off the couch at night, or I'm not interested in hanging out with my wife in the bedroom as much as I used to. And they see their friends and they hear about other guys who might be going through the same thing, and they start walking through the door. And it's amazing. Once we get guys who are low T and we get them on therapy, 4 or 5 weeks later, they'll come in and say, man, I didn't realize how bad I felt until I felt better. And we see it in guys healthy like Wiggy, who are athletes, and we see it in 35-year-olds who start their reductions early. So it's pretty insidious. It happens to a lot of guys.
Christian, I think you went there hoping that you had low T.
I did, but I didn't have low T, but it didn't mean I couldn't, benefit from some of the things that Dale and his team provide. And I'm a big B12 guy. The training aspect, the energy that I need to get in order to just, reach the goals that I have set for myself. And that's, as of right now, that's the most important thing for me. So, it's so easy to do. It's so convenient. It's literally almost like getting an oil change. You just kind of roll in and then you roll out. It doesn't take any time whatsoever. And the benefits of it are so significant, at least for me, that I just feel like it's just like a no-brainer.
So if I can share, because these guys have talked about their T levels on air. So it was kind of funny when Christian came in and his T level was in the 500s, and I went in and I'm like, Christian, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is you're not low T, but the bad news is we can't treat you. And I think he was kind of hoping he was going to be low T because he wanted to get the benefit of it. So
Christian's what, 500?
Right. Hold on, just real quick, because the funny thing is that I had seen another doctor at another place that did blood work and did all this other stuff, and they told me I had low T. They said, and so then it became hey, let's sell them this, let's give them this, you need this. I didn't need any of it, none of it. So I was about to spend all this money. Thank God, I was introduced to Dale. And he's like, no, here it is. Here's the numbers. Here's the machine that we use to read it. I saw everything. So to me, there's this trust factor that exists with them that I think is so important when it comes to misinformation and being misdiagnosed by other facilities in the region.
And if I can, do you mind if I speak to that just a moment?
Yeah.
Because that's really important. We will have patients that will come in, guys will come in looking for testosterone. They just want to get on T. And I mean, we have tight protocols, and Jared leads that, initiative for us. And so every patient that comes in, we're doing a medical history, we're doing a consult, we're going through risks and benefits, and we run the labs right there. And if somebody's normal, we're not going to put them on testosterone. But if they're still suffering from low T symptoms, but they're normal, we have other things we can potentially do. So that's really important, is the medicine comes first. And if you're not low T, you don't get treated by us.
And Wiggy, you've been undergoing treatment for a while now. And you talk about it all the time on the morning show. You just roll up there, it's easy. And how has it changed for you?
Well, for me, Greg, it's like the biggest thing that's hard is, when you get up so early, you don't know what's wrong. Is just, am I sluggish through the day because I'm getting up at 4:30 in the morning? And that's kind of what I thought it was. I had never even thought about low T. I'm thinking, here I am. I'm still relatively young, healthy, work out a little bit. And so like really getting with Dale and his staff and learning that I did have low T, and that was a part of why I was feeling this way, not being able to work out not like I used to when I played, but being able to get on a treadmill and exercise and, lift some weights. And so for me, it was a no-brainer. And I think the thing that, Dale and the staff really did for me was like kind of introduce me to, this could happen to anybody, and you might not even be aware of some of these symptoms because you just think it's a part of everyday living. And that, it's simple. I go to either one in Dedham or, most of the time in Salem, New Hampshire, because it's a little closer to where I live. But I go in, I'm in and out of there. And, like Christian said, it's less than 5 minutes. I go in, I get my T shot, and I know I've probably been doing it about 3 or 4 weeks now. And I know Dale had said when I get to about 6 weeks, they'll do my blood work again to kind of make sure that everything's going well with that. But it's, I feel like I'm feeling differently as far as my energy levels. I'm working out. I'm even working out twice a day, getting on the treadmill. So I think that's one of the things that for me, it was more about the learning and the knowledge that I was able to gain from just talking to Dale and his staff about low T and how it comes about and how they can help me.
So Wiggy, in week 6, you will have the highest T level at WEEI. So
hold on.
I'm not sure about that.
Guys, if there's one thing that most men don't want to talk about, it's erectile dysfunction. And I think that one of the things that you guys are great at is when you're meeting with somebody who's suffering from that, you guys, this is what you do all the time. You guys are good at understanding that we as men don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, and I can start, and I'll let Jared jump in here a little bit, but I will tell you, right, because we do this every single day. And one of the things we have to remind ourselves, all of us, is ED is a lonely disease. It really is. So, and we hear the stories every single day. And I really applaud the patients for picking up the phone and calling, because it's the one thing that they will tell us quite often is, it took me so long to pick up the phone. Because they're then declaring, hey, I have ED to somebody. And when they come in, that's the hardest thing I tell them was picking up the phone. Now that you're here, we got your back. We know how to treat this. And Jared, you probably have some stories of patients as well. I mean, just because Jared is the guy who will talk to the patients first, and he'll hear the stories about how they're avoiding intimacy, how they're not dating. And that's a really important aspect, that we're not a one-size-fits-all shop. We're going to really treat the patient. So I'll let Jared speak to that.
And I agree with Dale. The first, most important thing the patient can do is pick up the phone, call, and make an appointment. Once they get in, we usher them back to a private treatment room, so they're not sitting in the waiting room with a bunch of other people walking through. The medical assistant will go in, get their vital signs, take a history, and then they'll meet with either myself or the provider here in Salem. And we'll go through a detailed approach. And like Dale said, it's not a one-size-fits-all treatment. So we have multiple different treatment methods that we can use to help the patient.
One of the things that's important, guys, to realize for anybody who's watching this is, look, ED is a progressive disease. It doesn't get better with age, and it doesn't get better if you don't do anything. And so one of the things that we try to let patients know is that if you come and you work with us, we have your back throughout the whole process. It's not a matter of you're on your own trying different things on the internet and not knowing which way to go. we're going to be reaching out to you. We reach out to our patients every 30 to 60 days to find out, hey, we haven't heard from you. How are things going at home? And because we know that their ED is going to change over time, so we got to change with them. So I really applaud the patients. It's been a tremendous experience in both locations. The number of men that pick up the phone and call us, we're busy every day, and it's a testament to the society that people are willing to pick up the phone and change things.
I would just add to that, you know, I think the biggest obstacle for most men is kind of like ignoring the stigma that is attached to something like this, like admitting, like it's like there's like this pride swallowing, I'm not a man anymore if I have to go seek help, which is just so ridiculous when you think about it, because you mentioned how it's a lonely disease. I mean, it is, until you realize that you have this whole brotherhood of guys that are dealing with the same situation. And then you go, oh, wait, I am not alone. There are other guys, and it's okay to admit it. I just feel like that is such a, that is such a stigma attached to it when there really doesn't need to be, because, you know, so many guys deal with this, but their hurdle seems to be, you know, admitting that they need help. Right. It's like they're weak, which I think is I just think is a ridiculous statement, because once you go in to, you know, Northeast Men's Health, I mean, it's kind of like a bar, you know, without the liquor. you know, you got the TVs all over the place. You got the, you know, all the, you know, the sports memorabilia. You really feel comfortable. You really feel at home. And there's just no uneasiness at all when you walk in. That's what I would say is probably what I think is one of the best aspects of it.
I really appreciate you saying that. That's one of the things that we try to do is because patients will come in for different treatments, and we want them to feel like, you know, they come into Cheers, in the sense that we know who they are. And I will tell you that we've made friendships with a lot of our patients, and we find out they're going on vacation, what's happening with their kids, and they get really comfortable and intimate with us, and they become our.
And you are truly,
really nice.
You guys are truly focused on the health of men in every way, and there are other things that you guys do as well to help guys.
Yeah, so we treat not only ED, but we certainly do low T's we talked about. We also talk about we treat premature issues as well, which we haven't talked about here, but that is a real issue for a lot of men. And what we talk about as a staff sometimes is think about that instance for that couple where, you know, the intimacy might only last 30 seconds. And at times, right, people may chuckle, but it's a real issue for guys. And we can change it. It doesn't have to be that way, because we have people coming in whose marriages, trust me, are on the rocks because of it, or they're not dating because of it. So we have a number of patients we're treating for premature issues, and we see really good benefits for that as well. And like Christian said, right, when was the last time you guys were at a cocktail party and you had this conversation with your buddies? It just doesn't happen. Nobody wants to talk about it. And I will tell you, half of the guys my age have ED. The stats are pretty sound. So if you're at a party with guys, you know, like Greg and me, half of us have ED, but nobody's talking.
Oh, wait, which one?
I mean, one of you guys has ED.
Yeah, which one of us is it?
Exactly. Well,
I would want to know if Dale could talk about some of the techniques for premature ejaculation.
Absolutely. You want me to shout about them?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, look, I mean, well, I'll probably have Jared talk about them because he's the one that coaches all the patients about it. But look, I will say it's a process, right? So one of the things we talk to patients about is it's not a matter of just taking medication. Believe it or not, one of the things we talk to patients about is if you have PE and you're only having sex or satisfying yourself, you know, once a week or once a month, your PE isn't going to go away. So we kind of joked with them and say, we're prescribing more sex. So one of the techniques, if you have PE, is you need to have sex more frequently because you have to reprogram that pleasure signal. So that's one of the things we train and coach guys on is, you know, 3 times a week, 4 times a week is it's going to take it's a process.
That's
so,
it.
how's that sound?
you guys do a lot, but you're not yet able to help them find somebody to have that sex with, correct?
Not yet. We've had a request.
Okay.
Is that a service you guys can help us with?
I don't know. I think we're on. I mean, I don't know if we're supposed to talk about that on Facebook.
Yeah, I think the one thing, Dale, that I mean, I want to jump in just real quick, and I know because Christian said it's kind of like a brotherhood. The one thing that I noticed from talking, to a lot of the people that work there, that are actually getting low T shots, and what I usually like to hear is like the success stories. And I know, Dale, you and I talked about this, about people that have getting them, people that work in the facilities that actually, there was one of the guys, I can't remember his name, but he was telling me that he had been getting T shots for like 5 years, and how it's really made a difference in his life. So for me, I always look at when I get involved in certain things, and I know Christian's kind of spoke about the kind of like the brotherhood, and you're not alone. But I think the thing that really stands out is the success stories, and so if you are concerned a little bit, and I think that's what most guys are. Most guys are a little bit embarrassed and nervous, and they don't want to talk about it. But I think once you start hearing other people talk about the success stories and how that it's really working, I think that's something that really, makes people go, okay, I want to pick up the phone and give these guys a call.
Yeah, and one of the things that we've always enjoyed is hearing the success stories from our patients, and some of the old advertisements we had with the testimonials. Those are real patients. Those are real testimonials. We never coach them on what to say, and sometimes we listen to those commercials and we understand just the impact we've had on some of these guys, and we hear it when they come in here as well, how much better guys are feeling. And you're right, a lot of my guys are on testosterone, they're on lipo-amino mix because they were low T, and they feel much, much better. It's amazing when you have low T and you've been dealing with it for years, and you just think it's part of getting old, and that's part of what society accepted 20, 30 years ago. As you get older, your T levels go down, you just live with it. There's been a revolution in the last 10 years. You don't have to. You can safely and predictably increase your T levels and feel better. So why not do it? And that's what a lot of our patients are doing. And we are truly changing their lives. I mean, I'm not joking when I say that. Guys come in and say, you changed my life.
Well, and think about it. You might not expect it, but we have two finely tuned former professional athletes, Super Bowl champions, and one of them is dealing with low T. So it can be it can be any of us.
And I'm an actual patient. I will show you where I get my
No, put it back.
No.
I was gonna show you where I get my shot. It's Christian. It's like a $12 shot, right? I like to get it right in my right in my buttocks, and they put a nice Band-Aid on there, like a kid's Band-Aid of but yeah, it's simple. That was one of the things that I think, Dale, that really stood out for me is that I didn't know it was this easy. You don't really know. And it's like, boom, you go in, you can get a shot. And, and I know Dale had said, you could administer the shots at home, but I ain't at that level yet. So I'm not going into Northeast Men's Health and getting them done. But so, yeah, I think that's something that really, I think a lot of people would be surprised how easy it is.
It is simple, but I'll tell you. But Jared likes giving you the T shots. You got to keep going back to the New Hampshire office because he looks forward to your appointments.
So for guys who might be nervous about that first phone call, how does that generally go?
So it's funny. So the guys will call and say, "Hey, look, I heard an ad on the radio. I have some questions." And we have a really well-trained staff that will answer their questions and proactively lead them. We will ask them a few questions to make sure that we can help them. And in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, for most men, we booked an appointment and we let them, we let them know that we'll get them a little bit of paperwork to do over the internet. But within 5 minutes, they've got their appointment. So it's, don't be embarrassed. I would say if you're picking up the phone and calling us, we know why the phone is ringing. Don't think that you have to be prepared with anything. The staff is well trained. They know what questions to ask. They know what's going through your mind. So just let us do the work. And
just before we go, remind me again how far away numerically I am from Christian. Because what did you say? Christian had 500?
I have the exact level in front of me if you'd like to hear.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll start from lowest to highest. Wiggy. You came back at 222. Greg, 429, and Christian, a whopping 582.
Wow.
But in 2 weeks, when we get your labs, Wiggy, number one.
That's right. I'll be up there in the 700-800s. I'll bring that into the bank and be like, hey, here's my credit score.
I mean, it has to be.
The B12 shots are perfect for like a long weekend alone with the missus, or maybe before an athletic event. Just, lots of energy. Maybe you're doing a lot of drinking and you want to recover quickly. Listen, all these vitamins and minerals just coursing through your veins. I mean, you could howl at the moon at night and you can soar like an eagle during the day. It just gets you well.
We got to talk to you about next time is we just started doing lipo amino mix. When you're in next time, we'll talk to you about that. So that can be the next thing you talk about.
Liposuction? I'm in. Let's go.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, it has to be extremely rare for a 53-year-old man to have
stop it. I'm almost 50.
A 429 T level. I mean, that has to be very rare.
You're one of a kind, Greg.
One of a kind, Greg.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
You're pretty proud of that. It's actually a pretty good T level at 53.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably had your T checked in the afternoon because you work in the morning. So 429 is not bad.
Not bad. All right. Well, I'm glad we did this. And I think all of us, we had a great experience. I loved going up there. I know that both of you guys had a great experience and continue to have it when you go. So I don't think we can say enough how comfortable it is. What a great job you all do in making us as guys feel good about going there. And I encourage anybody who's thinking about it to get up to Northeast Men's Health.
Well, thanks. We appreciate the partnership. Loved having you guys as partners, but also patience as well. So can't wait to see Wiggy's progression.
It's coming.
All right, brother.